Good afternoon from the Eyewitness News Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg, and thank you for clicking on ABC7NY and all of our social platforms as we cover some flooding rain today that is enhanced by Tropical Storm Michael, kind of a pipeline this cold front coming through has to Michael. So any downpours can be pretty heavy. We get some torrential rainfall and all of a sudden the visibility is reduced and you get some instant ponding on roadways. And we've already seen that a little bit over some of the northern and western suburbs for a brief time prior to lunchtime. The Sawmill got ponding on roads, and then of course northwest New Jersey as well. So we have a flash flood watch that will go through tonight and into the first part of tomorrow. And then you have flood advisories out for northwestern New Jersey and also into the Catskills and Poconos. We've already seen some rainfall totals that have been close to 2 inches. So it's been about a ½ inch in the nearby northwest suburbs along the I-287 corridor. We've seen about an inch of rain near, let's say, it looks like Middletown, Orange County, and then nearly 2 inches across parts of Pike and Sussex County, and light rainfall amounts off to the south and east. In fact, we're already seeing some flooding storm reports come out of Sullivan County right now. So there's some water on area roadways and Herd Settlement, and also in Monticello some standing water on Route 17. So if you have any travel plans north and west, that's where the bulk of the rain has been so far. Now looking at the radar right now, there's kind of a hole in the radar scope where you see basically not a lot going on across much of New Jersey, New York City, Westchester, Fairfield County, western end of the island. But you see heavy rain over northwestern New Jersey, and that rain is starting to overspread the Hudson Valley, and it's moving through northern New Jersey. Also a couple of downpours on the east end of the island. But the other thing is what we're noticing off to the south. There are some downpours that flare up. They're scattered, but they're flaring up over southern New Jersey. And I think this is the type of environment we're in right now. It's so humid. There's so much moisture around. And as time goes along, you're going to get more and more influence from Tropical Storm Michael. So I think there'll be more scattered downpours that form, and maybe it's not widespread flooding as we go into the evening commute, but there certainly will be pockets where there'll be heavy downpours. So just be aware of that. Now there's Michael right there. It's moving through North Carolina. Winds at 50 miles an hour, moving off to the northeast fairly quickly. And you can see how it's clearly linking up with the cold front that's coming in. So there's tropical moisture being fed into that front, and that front has to cross our area as we go through tonight. The other thing that Michael's going to do is it's slowing down the progress of the front a little bit. So eventually the rain will be moving over us, and then it'll kind of turn the brakes on before Michael gets offshore and lets all of this go by. So my concern is, where does that line kind of stop over the area and just have training downpours? And so what that means is you have downpours going over the same place multiple times, and that's really your recipe for big time flooding across the area. So let's see what the Futurecast is suggesting. Well, first of all, it's more scattered downpours through the afternoon hours. I don't know that it's handling some of the heavier downpours that are over the northwest suburbs now, so this might be filled in a little bit more over the Hudson Valley as we go through the mid-afternoon hours. And then look at the signature here around 6 o'clock. This is suggesting that here comes the cold front, and a line of downpours starts to stall over I-95. So if that stays over there from 6 o'clock, and look at how it just gets enhanced through about 10 o'clock. So right through the heart of the area, we could have several rounds of downpours that cause flooding. So your evening travel could get progressively worse. Now, once Michael starts to approach our latitude, and you can see in the wee hours of the morning, it's basically southeast of Atlantic City by maybe 100, 150 miles, that the western edge of some of the rainfall along with the cold front has really positioned some of the heavy rain over Long Island and the Jersey Shore. So from just after midnight to probably close to dawn, we're going to have some very heavy rain that consolidates along the coast. It's going to be close in New York City. It might be more like Brooklyn and Queens at that hour and not so much Manhattan, the Bronx, and Staten Island, but it will be close. And there can also still be another reflection of some heavier downpours that are working over northern New Jersey into parts of the Hudson Valley. So that should last until about sunrise, and then that rain will quickly move because, remember, Michael will be moving pretty quickly off to our south and east. And in fact, I think we could see some clearing by the time we get to lunchtime or early afternoon. So where does that leave us in terms of rainfall totals? I would say in general across the area, looking at a 1 to 3 inch rainfall totals. But where we look at the rain slowing down tomorrow morning, we could really pile up the totals on the Jersey Shore and the eastern end of Long Island. That's why you're seeing some 3-inch or more maximums there. So I am concerned. So sometimes, you know, our models will show these type of amounts, but there could even be some higher, like bullseyes or lollipops, where you see even higher totals than that, and then you cause really serious flooding. So we'll be on that on Eyewitness Eyewitness News this morning, tomorrow morning. But in any case, we have to watch out really from now all the way through tomorrow morning, the opportunity for some downpours over the area that can cause some localized flooding. The one other note is because with this front coming through, which will cause its breezes just by itself as we change over to the northwest, not so much this afternoon, winds are generally out of the south, but it gets breezier later tonight as cooler, drier air starts to come in. But as it interacts with that western edge of Michael, and if you look at the circulation on our wind vectors right here, look at that's where the core of Michael is offshore. You're seeing a pretty gusty wind come out of the northwest, and we could have some gusts, especially on the coast, that go over 30 miles an hour. I mean, not damaging winds, but just the idea that there could be a window in there for early commuters where there's a windswept rain going on the LIE or maybe on the Garden State Parkway, where the rain is ending or has ended already from New York City north and west. Even during the day tomorrow, once we clear out, it's going to be a cool autumn breeze, a totally different feel. I mean, we've been just socked with high humidity for basically a few months now. Well, we're finally going to see a break in that pattern as things cool and the humidity lowers dramatically. So it's an AccuWeather alert that will go into early tomorrow morning. Occasional afternoon downpours can still cause some localized flooding or low visibility, so just be aware of that if you're driving around this afternoon. Once we get into this evening, I think things become a little bit more difficult and challenging in terms of travel, because we could have a line of slow-moving downpours that sits over one area. Right now, we check out our modeling, we're thinking I-95 within a few miles that on either side may be the targeted spot for those training downpours, and I mean that would be the core of the area, the most populated parts of the area. Now once we get into the coastline from 1 to 7 in the morning, I think we have to watch out for the heaviest rain along the coast and figure that's maybe 1 to 5 in the morning on the Jersey Shore and extend that to 7 a.m. on the eastern end of Long Island. So we'll be dealing with that heavy rain into the early evening hours. So once again, a flash flood watch will continue through the overnight into early tomorrow. And we have flood advisories, which will probably be lifted over parts of our northwest suburbs as we go through the afternoon, because as we go through the overnight, our focus will start shifting toward the coastline. But in any case, obviously a very humid environment. We're getting the contribution or remnants of a tropical system, so you always have to respect that. There'll always be some funny business with that, especially when a front is approaching. So I do expect some high rainfall totals over parts of the area into tomorrow morning. Be very, very careful. Obviously, the common sense rules apply. Remember, don't drive through any standing water. Only takes about 6 inches of rain to stall a car out. A foot of rain can carry a car away. So very dangerous situation could be brewing in that type. And we had that recently over parts of, let's say, Bayonne and over parts of eastern New Jersey. So that is something that could repeat itself as we go through tonight and into early tomorrow morning. We'll continue with AccuWeather updates throughout the afternoon hours, and of course complete coverage coming up on Eyewitness News first at 4. For now, thank you for tuning into ABC 7 NY, and you can always get that at on your app store, and you can always follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks again, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock.